close to 40 degrees here in Hyderabad. Man, oh man, it is insane. Today we are going to talk a lot about bikes. It's been really long since I've actually taken out a bike and went for a long spin, and I've been watching a couple of my videos because I'm making this particular video. So I wanted some footage from my older videos. When I was watching all that, I must admit that I'm really missing doing long rides. Now because the itch has started again, I wanted to start riding. I think I've touched most of the important riding destinations in India. The last ride that I'm going to do in India is definitely going to be Zanskar. I'll be doing Zanskar or another secret location I'll tell you later, mostly in the next 1 or 2 months. But Abhito, from here onwards in this kind of 40 degrees sun, talking about this hot summers, I have to show you something. You see this ice cream cone? See the tanning that is happening? Just before the ride I went recently for the Distinguished Gentleman ride. This was all fine. That day if you see me, I was still wearing a full length shirt. It doesn't matter, you know, they say UV rays actually penetrate to all the clothing. Many times I take care, I apply proper sunscreen and go out. That particular day I forgot, and this is the effect. Black and white ho gaya pura. In fact, they say even when you're at home, not going out, you still need to use a good sunscreen. Right now I'm using the MamaEarth Beetroot Hydra Full Sunscreen, which comes with a protection of 50 SPF. It's made safe certified. It's got 2 key ingredients, beetroot and hyaluronic acid. Beetroot, which helps with getting that pink supple skin, and hyaluronic acid, which is going to lock in that moisture into your skin, and it keeps your skin nice and hydrated. After I applied, it doesn't feel oily. It has a nice matte finish on my skin. Feels refreshing. And as always, all MamaEarth products are natural. They don't have harmful chemicals in it. You can use my coupon code Sriman 2024 and get a flat 20% off at MamaEarth's official website and their app. You can also buy from Amazon, Flipkart and MamaEarth's official website and the app. Now, where were we? Adventure bikes. I know you're seeing the title and you're like, Sriman has enjoyed all this and now he's telling us not to. I mean, at least the title seems in a negative way that do not buy. Do you really need a big bike? Do you really need a BMW 1250 GS Adventure or anything of that sort? But hear me out. This is not an advice, or this is not encouragement or discouragement to do anything. It's up to you. This is just information I share. Anyways, ADVs or adventure bikes. Let's start with the basics. A lot of people define it in different ways, but as per my experience, how I would define an adventure bike is a bike that can go anywhere. Can't do everything perfectly, but can do most of it decently. Something like jack of all trades but master of none. So you have different categories of bikes, starting with the most famous super sport bikes. As you guys know, a super sport is meant for track racing, and sometimes you can take it out on the streets, on the highways as well, but you can't take a super sport off-roading. Next you have cruisers. These are very good on highways, low ground clearance, so you sit very low, they can munch miles. But the thing is, you have to have very good tarmac, and straight roads are their friends. Twisties and turns, you can do it, but it's not the right bike. You'll not enjoy it much. Then you have dirt bikes. From the name, once again, dirt. They like dirt. The tires are usually knobbies. You can take them through proper off-road, forest areas, trails, but then if you get them onto a proper tarmac, you will not like it. Then you have classics, street. Once again, from the name itself, you can make out that these bikes are meant for streets. Taking spins in the city, maybe a breakfast ride, but good roads. Now, if you have observed, all these bikes that I mentioned, super sport, classics, cruisers, dirt bikes, all this can do a specific job very well. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome the adventure tourer, which can basically do all of these things, but cannot do it perfectly. Jack of all trades, but master of none. And I will be talking about adventure tourer specifically because that is my area of expertise. That is what I've owned for the last couple of years. Not one, but we had 2 adventure tourers, the beautiful Triumph Tiger, the Dark Horse, and then the Emperor, the BMW 1250 GS Adventure, which is considered the king of adventure. Now, why do I specifically call an adventure tourer a go anywhere bike? So if you've seen most of my rides that I've done, we start in the street in Hyderabad where I live, handles it perfectly. A little bit of traffic here and there also, you don't feel the stress, so it's a good street bike as well. Not the right one, but it works. Then we get onto the highways, amazing highways. They cruise so good. They are mile munchers. Sitting on a simhasanam, a throne, you sit like that, ride high, covered behind a proper big windshield, and you don't feel the stress of the wind, no wind buffeting. They're stable, they're heavy, and you enjoy the ride. You cover distance so easily. Then all of a sudden they stop the highway, there's some construction going on or some accident that happened, and they divert the traffic towards the left where there is ditches, there is a lot of potholes, a lot of boulders. An adventure tourer will go through it. If you had a panigale, nijagane panigale, because you can't take a super sport or a ZX10 or something like that and go into dirt patch. But an adventure tourer with its long travel suspension, good powerful engines, nice stability, they'll right through it. That is the reason I call the adventure tourer the go anywhere bike. And also the best part is none of the bikes that I've mentioned, like the super sport, the cruiser, the classics, luggage racking is a little bit difficult compared to an adventure tourer. An adventure tourer, on the other hand, it has a proper pannier system. You can load in so much luggage, left pannier, right pannier, top box, top case, tank bag. You can literally shift your house on the bike. And that is the reason the market for adventure tourers is on the rise. If you've seen how the biking market has expanded since the last 5 years, every other manufacturer, including Harley Davidson, who usually makes cruiser bikes, they also started making an adventure tourer, the Pan America, because there's a huge market for an adventure tourer. But why are adventure tourers so huge, so bulky, right on your face? I mean, before taking out these bikes out for a spin, there's a mental block. I have to think twice. Why are they so huge? To understand this, we have to go a little bit into the evolution of ADVs, which basically traced back to almost 1800s. Most of the roads were dirt, they were bad, there's no proper infrastructure, no 4-lane, 6-lane highways. The quality of roads were not that great compared to how it is now. So having a bike with long travel suspension and a decent capacity engine should take you from point A to point B with comfort. But slowly as we progressed, the quality of road also improved. So manufacturers slowly started putting bigger engines into these bikes, because better roads, you need to push the bike more. You can travel to greater speeds, which means you need a bigger engine. A 100cc, 150cc bike, which was more than enough to go like 50 or 60 kilometers per hour at the max on dirt roads. That kind of engine is not that great on a nice 4-lane highway, right? So they started packing the ADVs with bigger engines. 100cc became 150, 150 became 250, 350, 450, all the way till a liter class. And nowadays we have 1250 and 1300cc, 1600 GTL, up to almost 2500cc ka Triumph Rocket. Do you really need that kind of power? That too in our country where traffic sense is still horrible. Infrastructure is there, but traffic sense absolutely zero. No, anta mari atla digajarchaku. It is not zero, it is 5%. And if you think about it, a big bike was actually a 400 to 600cc bike, or maybe a 800cc bike. But now they have become the mid segment. Well, the big bikes are considered the liter class and above. Some of the best adventure tourers that time were the Honda XR-V 750 Africa Twin. You had the Kawasaki KLR 650, the Suzuki V-Storm 650, the legendary Yamaha Tenere 700. If you go deep into Google, you can find so many adventure tourers. But did you observe all the bikes that I mentioned till now are between 500 to 800cc segment? And these were just perfect for the job. You had long travel suspension in case you want to go off-road. The suspension was sturdy enough so that it's not too bouncy on the highways. And the kind of power they produced, the BHP to weight ratio was decent enough. You would never feel that these bikes are underpowered. You had more than power on tap to get through situations, to overtake, to push through rubble. And now is the time to admit, I've always appreciated the BMW 1250, the way it rode and all that. But I later realized slowly while I was doing these rides that actually I don't need that much of a huge bike. No one needs, at least in India. It's a want, it's not a need. Now I know a lot of slow claps will come for this. I actually enjoyed my time on the Triumph Tiger, which had just the ABS and traction control and nothing else on it. A sweet, cute inline 3-cylinder. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Boxer engine is not good. It is the best. Out of all the engines I've ridden, the Boxer engine is, there's no second thoughts about that. My problem is with the GS Adventure or any other big bike or anything between the liter class to 1300 to 1600 to 2000cc segment. Basically what I've understood is, bigger the bike, bigger the mental block. I'll explain. Now I've done a ton of kilometers throughout India, and whenever I had to ride, I had zero mental block or anything to think about the ride process, about the riding part of it. Because for me, my personality, especially my inseam being a little bit shorter than most people, Tiger was a sweet spot for me. That was the right bike for me. I really enjoyed riding that bike. It felt small under me. I thought like I was in control of the bike. All the inputs that I give, it will take, rather than the bike commanding me. I had a very good comfort level in terms of weight, in terms of size, everything in the Tiger 800cc. Because even after putting all the luggage, I was like in control with my personality. It would sync with the bike. I would feel perfect. If there's an off-road situation, a slush situation coming up, no thinking, just go through it. Dropping the bike never occurred to my mind because I was so confident with it. But then human tendency, you want to progress, whether it's in your life, whether it's in terms of your finances, or whether in terms of upgrading your bike. The natural progression happened, and I thought, okay, now we've experienced 600cc Bentley. Next, we experienced the Tiger, which was so beautiful. Now let's experience the next chapter, the next bigger bike. Let's go for the king of everything. When I did some research online, obviously media hype is there, and they said the king of adventure, BMW 1250 GS Adventure is the best out there. Go get it. Now this is the main reason we shouldn't get influenced with media or social media or influencers. Influencers will never tell you this. At that moment, whatever I said about the bike, that is an amazing bike, even now I'm saying that, I'm not denying that fact. But now after selling it, when I was thinking, how could I just sell it like that, the king of adventure? There is no, I mean, is there a better bike now if you actually look at it? No. Having hands-on experience with it for 2 years plus and ridden almost close to 20,000 kilometers on it, I can say it is the king of adventure. on its own. Depends on the rider as well. It's not necessary that you should like it. It's a big mental block. Before going for the ride, I should prep myself that this is a huge bike. If there is a off-road situation or a slush situation that is going to come up, how I'm going to handle it. Before even starting the ride, I would think about how the ride is going to be. It goes really well. Like if you ride it, like when I'm in the situation, you can see some videos where I've done most of the off-road situation well, and also went to the GS trophy where I could do it, but there is always a mental block, a slight mental block that you want to avoid a slushy situation and take this monstrous 250 kilo plus bike with panniers, with top box, with tank bag. It would go up to 300 plus kilos and your weight another 80-90 kilos. Dude, 400 kilo pakad ke ekkad dirugtunora. So that chota sa mental block was always there. Though I would start the ride and go and I would forget about it, but in the back of my mind, that thing was always there, that better not go into a situation where I can't handle the bike. Maybe I can't reach my leg properly and I would slip and fall, and that happened. Let's try. Stand is on. Trust me, the moment the bike bends more than 15 degrees, don't even try to stop that bike. It will smash down. 15 degrees is the limit. Anything beyond this and it is stationary, you can't stop it. It is going to pakka fall. And that is the reason a lot of times, if you people remember, I always said that this bike is more of a cruiser, is more of a tourer than an adventure bike. It can go through rubble, it can go through off-road mountains and stuff, but it is actually, you'll enjoy the bike more on a proper highway. You'll be the most comfortable there. No, I know the people who rip open these bikes, like trainers and all instructors I've seen who can play around with the bike like an RX100 or maybe a KTM, but give them a smaller bike, a 600cc bike. If they can play with the 1250 Adventure, they will become a monster, a demigod on a lighter cc bike. I've had this conversation with a lot of, I don't want to name them, but proper off-roaders. Why they went with lighter bike, not a very heavier bike like the 1250 GS Adventure. One more thing, the kind of power these bikes generate is insane. 138 or 140 Nm of torque for the 1250. You don't ever need that much of power. I have never full throttled that bike in my life. You don't need it. Like I said, these kinds of roads, you will do 130, 140 kmph on the highways, nothing more than that. And slowly as I matured in riding, I've reduced my speeds much slower to below 120, because there are a lot of idiots on the roads, especially on highways. People can come from anywhere, from underground also they can come. So it's better to maintain your speed where the bike can brake and stop. Even the Tiger was more than enough. The only difference I've seen between the Tiger 800cc to the 1250 is that this monster is crazy stable. Doesn't matter if there's a wind blast on the left or right. Doesn't matter if a small stone or something comes up on the middle of the road. The 1250 will just go through it and it's freaking stable. That is the reason I love it on the highways, where you're just sitting and cruising. Anything comes, you feel like you're inside a truck. You're all shielded with the boxer engine. The tank itself is so huge, the 30-liter tank, it covers your knees. You feel very safe inside a BMW 1250. No other bike gave me that kind of comfort and safe feeling compared to the 1250. But will I take it to off-road adventures and all that? I would take it. I did that, right? Good, good. No, it's okay. We keep falling like this a lot. No, all perfect. We keep falling like so much. Don't worry. That's our practice session. We'll take care, don't worry. Yeah. But I would think, that thoda sa small mental block was always there. Now forget of the mental block, the engine power is also too much, which we don't need. The next thing is handling this bike alone in certain situations. For example, by mistake, if it is in a slope, if you park it in a slope, if you're in a situation in a traffic signal, let's say you cross the signal a little bit and it's a slope, you want to pull it back a little. Light this car, impossible. Pakka you need some help from outside, some external force pulling it back, because these people don't give a reverse gear as well. This is the problem. We have parking here, no problem, but the thing is, putting it in parking is a problem. Agra left ki vartunadu. Or balance ira vadiki. Seriously, BMW needs to give a reverse gear. Freaking doesn't move. Pull and push. Enka pull jay. Yeah. నలుగురు కావాలా రైతున్న పోతికి దీనమ్మ స్టాండ్ ఉందా? గేర్లో ఉందా? BMW world, BMW Germany, BMW Hyderabad, India, everyone. If you're listening, please add a reverse gear to such heavy bikes. How do you think we can move it? These 250 plus kg bikes, they need a reverse gear, dude. By yourself at that height, you can never push it back. Those few minutes are enough to take out the energy from your body for the entire day. Especially with the riding gear, with the helmet, with the gloves, lighter the bike, it's easier to handle it. Just put it in a center stand, just pivot it. I would say choose a bike whose weight is directly proportional to your muscle strength. If it is exceeding that, don't get it. If you're the great Kali or someone like that personality, then obviously even the 1250 will be a small tiny toy under you. And then there's a big premium bike, 25 lakh plus bike. You don't want to park it in random hotels. You want good hotels for it with security and CCTV footage. So every time we wanted to stay back in some town or something, we would first check if that place has a good hotel. If it was a normal 300cc bike, I wouldn't care. For example, a couple of times we got tired and we want to take a break and we would want to stop the ride for that day. But we were in the middle of a rural town where there were no good hotels, and we were like, we can't park our 20-25 lakh rupee bikes into 4 bikes in some random hotel. So we had to push ourselves some more in the rain, another 100 kilometers jaake, then we found a good hotel. Just for the hotel, we had to travel 100 kilometers. Getting the point, right? These are real life problems. No, I'm not saying you can't do it, but we don't prefer doing that. We want good parking for our bikes because we love it. We take care of it really well. Now all this is one ettu. After coming back home, going through all that mental block, finishing the ride and feeling accomplished, all that beautiful memories are obviously there. My best memory with the 1250 was definitely Spiti, especially while coming back, the last leg, while coming back to Manali, almost 10 hours of a ride, we were continuously standing. I had so much of fun, put it in Enduro Pro mode, and the bike would get out of any kind of situation, so much of slush, so much of snow. We did all kinds of riding that day, and the bike would handle it well. And in that particular ride, what I've seen is our instructor was riding a Himalayan. He was the most comfortable out of all the GSA, all the 850s. The most comfortable guy was the one on the Himalayan 400. He had a light bike like a pocket rocket. We're all waiting in a line, though they were like professional riders in the BMW group. In some situations, we all had to stop by the side. This guy would take his Himalayan, rip open his bike because it was so light, snow undani, slush undani, whatever the situation is. I mean, I was looking at him and I was like, this guy is having more fun than all of us. We're all stranded, waiting for him to go check the route and come. I told you, right? The lighter the bike, the lighter the mental block. Many did not say it out, but I've sensed a lot of BMW riders that day. They were all having these mental blocks about the road, about the route we are going to take. Before we started, every day they would ask the instructor, is this route going to be good? Are there any big potholes? Are there slushy roads? Are there river crossings? If all these people had a Himalayan, no one would even think about it. Everyone would have left, right and center fun. It's not that BMW riders did not have fun that day. We all had exclusive, amazing, next level fun, no doubts about that. But what I'm trying to say is, if you would have given us lighter BMW 1250s, I know they're not there, but let's say a proper 1250 boxer engine being around 180 to 200 kilos would love it. By the way, it's not only the weight, even the appearance of it, that also creates a mental block to you. Anyways, all the people who are riding a 1250 GS Adventure right now, I know what you people are thinking. This guy has gone mad. Sriman has gone mad. What he's saying, whatever he wants. Once again, this applies only to me, my experiences. Maybe that is not the right bike for me. Maybe you guys are having next level fun with it. But what I'm saying is, you with the 1250 GS Adventure, just take a Himalayan and go to the same situations. You'll be more confident is what I'm saying. You'll have more fun. You'll have more smiles. You'll do more exploring. The only mental block you'll have that time is time and fuel, not the bike itself. Now, after doing all this, the main thing after the post-ride situation, expenses on the bike are super crazy. Unknowingly, I spent around 50 to 60,000 per year on the 1250. A service would set you back by 10,000 rupees at least. I'm not saying surely you'll have that much of expenses per year. If you average them out, I think it's not 40,000. I might be wrong. Maybe 25 to 30,000 per year. But after 3 years is what I've heard, the service checks go up. They need to do certain specific checks on the bike, and those keep costing you like 30,000 or 40,000 for the service. First service will be the cheapest one compared to the fifth service. For example, my friend Shiva, who still has the 1250 GS, he had to change brake pads, around 20,000 again for that. Luckily, he was under warranty, extended warranty. So basically he got some issues with the rear suspension, with the jog dial. And in case these were not covered under warranty, it would be like 70 or 80,000 of a bill for him. So usually around 3 years ke baad, you start getting issues in such big bikes. Also, you have to consider one more thing is the gear. You can't wear any random gear and go on. You can't wear a Vega helmet, and I'm not demeaning them, but You get the point, right? When you're riding a 25 lakh rupee bike, you don't want to wear a 1200 rupee helmet. You want a 60-70,000 rupees AGV or shoe berth or shoei. Your expenses there goes up. You want a climb or a BMW jacket so that it syncs well with the bike. We'll not talk about economics here. We'll not talk about pricing and all that, because if you're able to afford a BMW bike, I think aram se go do it. And if you're planning to get one, I'm not discouraging you, but this is what I've experienced. The mental block part, you don't need that much of power. You will never in your life get to use that much of power. Trust me, you will not even cross quarter of the throttle. Off-road situations, literally you'll use the clutch. So if you're planning to get one and you have the money, please get it so that taxes are also distributed to the country. You'll pay almost 25-30% of GST, CGST, SGST. Then you'll pay road tax, you'll pay petrol prices, tax from there. So please buy a big bike. That's helpful for the country, for the economy. But if I knew all this before, I wouldn't go for the 1250 GS Adventure. I would go for a smaller bike. I would maybe keep our beloved dark horse with me. So what, Sriman, Kotaru, are you saying that in your life you'll never be buying a big bike again? Did I say that? No. Recently, after taking test rides of the Speed 400, the Scrambler 400, the Himalayan 400, I've realized that I got used to so much of power, so much of torque, which is not needed, like I said, but we got used to that. So I'm looking at a bigger CC bike. It might not be a heavy bike this time. I don't know if it is going to be an adventure tourer or sport, super sport, or a cruiser, a street bike. I'm really confused about that. A lot of people, wherever I'm meeting my subscribers, whoever knows me, the first question they ask me when they come up to me is, Sriman, what is your next bike? What are you going to plan? For which my answer is, I still don't know. See, before getting the Tiger or before getting the Emperor, I had this excitement of getting a particular bike. I had a dream. That kind of kick, and I'm not getting about any bike. I'm waiting for it. But one thing is, I really want a bike. That void is there. That emptiness is definitely there in my life. By the end of this year, maximum in the next 5 to 6 months, I'll take a decision. And this time, after doing all this analysis, I think I'll be going with a it doesn't matter. I'll be going with a lighter adventure tourer maybe. 1300 is coming up, and 1300 just the GS, not the GS Adventure, because that is the first thing they did. The right thing that BMW did this time with the 1300 is reducing the weight by around 12 kilos or something, which is very important. Every kilo on this massive bike is very important to be shed off. If I was owning a GS, not the GSA, I think slightly there is some part of me that says I might have kept it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog, and more than that, I hope you got some information, some analysis you can do before going for a big bike. Think if you really need it, and take as many test rides as possible. If your friends have it, actually take it for a long ride before taking a 25 lakh rupee decision. I think that's very important to do. Previously, no one told us this. We assumed things are going to be fine, but when you actually bought it and when you start experiencing the bike in long trips, that is the time when you actually realize it. It's like when you see a girl, oh, so she's so beautiful, I want to get married to her, she's my dream girl and all that. But once you get married to that dream girl is when you realize the flaws. And when you realize the flaw, it is very important to get away from that toxic person or whoever is taking away your happiness. Koncham depth ekkoyindi gaani, you get the point, right? Let's end the vlog here. Before going, do check out the links in the description for MamaEarth products. And always, brands like MamaEarth, they listen to your feedback. So definitely use their products and give your feedback. For example, they improved their onion shampoo based on your feedback. Now it's much better. And they're always upgrading their products through research and innovation for better quality. Also, you guys know that all MamaEarth products are available online like Amazon, Flipkart and Nykaa. But now they're also available at an offline store near you. Comment down below or DM me if you come across a MamaEarth store near you. So see you guys in the next vlog. Take care.